Kendrick Bourne from the San Francisco 49ers. You're watching the Niners All Day Show. What up, Bronze? What up, Dre? Let's get it, man. Yee!
Yo, this is your boy Bronze, and this is the Niners All Day Show. I got my boy Jason with me.
Yo, what's up? I'm gonna make a prediction. This is gonna be one of the better shows that we've had. I'm making a prediction right now.
It's getting lit. You can already tell. Dre's camera is getting lit, just like that. Before we get into it, man, thanks for tuning in. Everybody in the chat. If this is your first time, be sure to subscribe.
There he is.
There we go, Mr. Fran 49er. He's on mute though. Hopefully he knows. Shout out to our Patreon members. Big shout out. Shout out to our gold members. We got Sean, we got Mariah, we got Cynthia, and our GOAT members, Rashad, Ian, and all right, today I was gonna bring him in, but we got Vincent from Big Blue Unbiased. And it's gonna be an interesting topic. This is a little something new that we're trying out. We're gonna be talking to the opponents, have their take, and we're gonna keep it civil. You know what I'm saying? We're adults here. So Vincent, man, how you doing, man?
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining. Why don't you tell a little bit about yourself and your channel?
Sure. So I started Big Blue Unbiased back in 2016. I had written for many blogs. I obviously grew up as a Giants fan, but when it comes to fan blogs, it's always like there's always like certain topics you can't talk about. So with the Giants, it was like Eli Manning. Like if you said anything bad about Eli Manning, like forget it. Like you're the worst fan in the world, and you get destroyed, and you get kicked off the blog, and it's like, oh my god. So I'm like, all right, I'm tired of like the nonsense. Like I just want to talk about what I want to talk about and be as honest as possible and truthful as possible. So I started Big Blue Unbiased in 2016. Eventually, it helped me actually get a job with CBS Sports Radio, so I worked in Manhattan.
Oh, nice.
So it was pretty cool. My website was on Bleacher Report a couple times and all that stuff, and their team stream. And then while I was in school, I went to St. John's University in Queens. I worked for the baseball team there. So out of college, I actually worked for the Detroit Tigers, which is where I learned a lot about like analytics and the impact of analytics in baseball. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do with the Big Blue Unbiased website.
Oh, okay. Who's your team for baseball?
I'm a Mets fan.
Okay, yeah.
Sadly, yeah, it's a rough one.
We could have salvaged something here if you would have just said the right answer right there, man. But it's all right. We're gonna keep moving, bro.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna talk about matchups today. We're gonna go the round table and see like who we think who has the advantage on each matchup. And I want to start off with the San Francisco 49ers offensive line versus the New York Giants' defensive line. Vincent, what's your take on that matchup? Who has the advantage for Sunday?
I would say it's fairly even. With the Giants' defensive line, a lot of good run defenders: Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, Dalvin Tomlinson. Those guys, analytically, they're able to rush the passer fairly well. They don't have big sack numbers for the most part. Marcus Golden on the edge, Kyler Fackrell, Lorenzo Carter, those kind of guys, O'Shane Ximines. So it's a solid pass rush for the Giants if you look at like the advanced metrics and the pass rush win rate. They had 3 sacks on Sunday, I believe.
Okay.
So pressure-wise, I don't know. I think it's fairly even. I think it's a fairly interesting matchup. I don't know if anyone really has the edge here.
Jason, what do you think, man?
So, watching the film lately this week, the 49ers have a bit of a problem right now with the offensive line, regardless of who the quarterback is at this point, right? Like we watched Quentin Williams destroy the interior O-line in this team, and Mike McGlinchey. Guys, I don't even want to tell you the number of pressures that he's on pace for, but it's somewhere in the 80s in a 16-game season. That is not good. For a number 9 pick, that's horrible. It seems like right now Mike's regressing.
Yes.
That's not good. And the other thing is this. You're a defensive coordinator, right? Your best pass rusher is you're just going to move him away from Trent Williams. Why aren't you going to pick on Mike McGlinchey at this point? Like, why wouldn't you send your best player over to him? Chandler Jones was stonewalled when he was trying Trent Williams. They moved him right away from him, and all of a sudden, boom, he's having an impact on the game. Mike McGlinchey has regressed so far in the first 2 weeks of the season, and the interior O-line is still an issue. And the Giants have a defensive line that has guys that can clog up the middle. And, as long as Tomlinson's playing the way he is right now, it's scary. This is a little bit of a push when it comes to this matchup. So, yeah, I mean, I worry for Nick because I think that Kyle's going to have to draw up a lot of quick passes and make sure to take away reads away because I'm not certain he's going to have a lot of time back there to go through reads.
Right. Dre, you got anything on that?
I mean, LaDainian Tomlinson's not LaDainian. Langston Tomlinson is going to have to bounce back. He got destroyed by Quentin Williams. I think Quentin Williams had 5 pressures and 2 sacks in that game. That is totally unacceptable to have a second-year player make a vet like Langston Tomlinson look like he's a rookie. Trent Williams going to continue to do what he does. I expect Ben Garland to have a good game. I hope Brunskill can hold his own. Michael Lynch, that's the guy that we need to worry about. He was a first-round draft pick, the number 9 pick. He gets paid too much money to be as bad as he has been for the first 2 games. So I kind of have to agree with Vincent. It might be a little even right now, but hopefully Kyle Shanahan put together a good game plan to cover up some of those holes in the offensive line.
Right. All right. Okay, so we're going to flip that. The Giants' offensive line versus the Niners' defensive line. Vincent, what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, looking at the Niners front 7, right? Solomon Thomas, Nick Bosa out for the season. That's like I said, I think for the Giants, they played a really tough matchup in Week 1 against the Steelers. I mean, last year the Steelers had the number 1 pressure rate in the NFL, second in run defense EPA. That was a really, really tough matchup for them. Against Chicago, Rob Quinn and Khalil Mack, I think they had like 11 combined pressures against the Giants, according to Next Gen Stats. So obviously with Nick Bosa not being able to play in D Ford, he might not be available. I'm not sure what his status is for the game, but I mean,
He's not.
Thomas Bosa, and he's not. I mean, that's I would say the advantage is for the Giants offensive line, but I really think it's just based on the injuries that the 49ers have.
Right. Jason.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just going to depend on like again that first matchup. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers are blitzing at an unreal rate, like it's 58% or something like that, which is some crazy. Like that's not even close. Like the highest percentage of blitzes was something like 33% across the league. They're legit like close to 60%. So that was a very tough matchup. The Bears front 7, even if they are a bit diminished, is still a good test for them. And the same thing with us, right? So the issue that we're having is we just got to figure out the rotation and just figure out who's going to be in there. So this feels like a push as well too. Like this feels like something that could go either way.
Good. Yeah. All right, Dre, you got anything to add to that? Despite with our, we got Ziggy Ansah coming in and Deion Jordan got activated. You think they're going to do anything?
Who?
I'm not really excited by Deion Jordan.
Yeah, who?
Hopefully Ziggy Ansah can come in and have some of the same pressure rates that D Ford had. We still got DJ Jones, Contavious Street, Kevin Givens, Armstead. Hopefully these guys, Kerry Hyder, who has been tremendous. I think he's looked the best out of all the defensive linemen as far as coming in to the season. And then you can't forget about Javon Kinlaw. So I still say that we have the advantage over the New York Giants.
All right. Okay, so Sherman is still out. Witherspoon has a hamstring injury. So supposedly is going to be Verrett on the other side, opposite of Emmanuel Mosley. I don't know who's going to be covering Slayton. So that being said, Vincent, who do you think has the advantage between our cornerbacks and the Giants wide receivers?
Well, right now, I think I think we could really go either way with this, pretty even. I mean, look, the Giants are not a very good team. So with the San Francisco 49ers having all these injuries, it's still kind of even. I mean, even with all the injuries that they have, Darius Slayton is a big play wide receiver. He averaged over 15 yards per reception last year. So he kind of offers that threat to the 49ers
How many
secondary.
yards per reception is Darius Slayton averaging this year?
This year,
it's up there.
Yeah, it's up there. The first game, I know he caught a 41-yard touchdown, so he's
He can stretch the field.
He's a guy that can definitely stretch the field, make big plays. Golden Tate missed week 1 last week. Really didn't do too much. He's a very limited receiver in terms of stretching the field. He's a low yards before catch kind of guy, big yards after catch kind of guy.
I'm sorry, Vincent. It's 14 per. 14 per catch. He has 17 per in the first week and 11 the second week. Didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to have that.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, so he's definitely a big play receiver. Golden Tate, more of a catches a lot of shorter passes, yards after catch kind of guy. Sterling Shepard is out this week. He'll be out. He's on IR. So it's really not too tough of a matchup for the 49ers. So I'm fairly even on this one too.
Right. Jason, what do you think?
I'm way more nervous about this than Vincent is, at least on our side. Especially, you see Witherspoon pop up on the injury report with a hamstring, and and then you hear once again we hear them saying Jason Verrett is a full go. God help us if he gets caught out there by himself. God help us all. Look at Trey laughing. It's so crazy, right? Like just because we like the team, right, and we like the guy, we like the story and everything. It's like. He gets practice in full. Everybody's like, well, here comes Jason Verrett from 2015. No, guys, at all. That's not what's happening here. Jason Verrett is a luxury of just depth at this point. Like, thank God the 49ers held on to all these guys that people were either cutting bait on or didn't want to, because that's the only reason that we even feel a little bit optimistic at this point. It's 2020, and the 49ers are about to run out in the same game Jerick McKinnon, Jordan Reed, and Jason Verrett. I'm not sure that there's three guys who have been more injured their entire career than these 3 guys, and the 49ers are going to be depending on them this week. Yes, this makes me more nervous. I think Mosley's going to be fine. Mosley's going to be fine. Tate, they can move around like a chess piece, right? He can be outside. He can go in the slot. I saw in week 2, Evan Ingram was in the slot a lot more. Actually, so that was something that they added when Shepard left the game, right? So that's where it's going to get a little bit hairy, right? So what do the 49ers do? Do they allow Evan Ingram to run around one-on-one with whoever, K'Wan Williams, Jimmy Ward, or Jaquiski Tartt? Or are they going to be bracketing them? It's going to be really interesting. Slayton is their down the field guy, and if the day he adds more routes to his tree is the day that the league should be a little bit more nervous, because he has all the speed. If he's able to run digs and those comebacks and everything, it's just another weapon in his arsenal, and he's just going to be great. So this one has me much more nervous than Vincent. I'm going to say advantage right here just because we're so depleted. And if Jason Verrett's starting, this is an advantage for the Giants.
And I also want to mention that we have 13 starters on that are not – I was about to say on IR, but we have 13 starters that are not going to be in this game.
Right.
Yeah.
13.
Yeah.
But
Dre, can I ask you a question, Dre? How do you feel about Jason Verrett?
I feel nothing about Jason Verrett.
If he's not doing good, guess who his backup is?
Who?
Number 27.
Dante Johnson? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So,
I think this is really funny because the 49ers were in the Super Bowl last year, right? And you would think, like, it's the Giants, like the 4th overall pick, won 4 games last year. That's how you guys are treating the 49ers here. I just find it funny how both fan bases, because the Giants fan base is the same way, but they're terrible, so it makes sense.
We're not treating our squad any type of way. We have 13 starters that are not going to be playing in this game, bro. There is no other way to treat them. It's like we're playing with practice squad guys and second and third lineup guys. I mean, what are we supposed to expect? Are we supposed to expect that we're going to come out and blow the Giants out with practice squad and third string guys? Nah, that's just not being realistic.
The other thing, Vincent, is I think that if you ask all of us when we get to the prediction, we're all going to tell you that we think the 49ers are going to win with all of these things. It's just that we're highlighting matchups right now. So these matchups, we're just talking about, one way or the other. I mean, I hope I'm wrong about Jason Verrett. Please. I hope
me also.
If people hit me up and they're like, you know what, you're an idiot, you got it wrong, great. It's a win-win for me. I don't want to be right on the fact that I don't think that he's close to being whatever people think he is, especially since he hasn't played it. He's played in one regular season game in the last 4 years. So like, I don't want to be right about this. I don't. But when you're talking this matchup, you got to be nervous when Verrett hasn't played that much and he's going to be out there guarding a guy who has speed. Like the only game that he got into last year, Deontay Johnson took him up top and they had to take him out of the game immediately. And that was it. You know, so like that's what I'm afraid of more than anything. If we're talking overall matchups, yes, I still believe the 49ers are going to win this game. But if we're talking cornerbacks against wide receivers, we're going to have to dial up the pass rush to not let Daniel Jones let those routes develop down the field.
Yeah. All right. So with the theme with the injuries, last Sunday was horrible. Like the worst I've seen in my life. Mm-hmm. Vincent, what is going on with the MetLife turf?
The turf, right? I don't know.
What was it? Did you guys have any issues when the Giants were playing on first week?
No, so that's the thing. Week 1, there really wasn't any issue.
Banner tore his ACL though. The Steelers lineman, he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah. But after, because there's obviously like controversy after the game. I think Kyle Shanahan came out and said something about the turf, and then I think the MetLife crew was like, they checked it out. They were like, okay, we don't see anything here. I mean, but it is pretty crazy, all those injuries in 1 week. I mean, that just doesn't add up to me.
Hey,
I did some research. I got some science. So I live 10 minutes from MetLife, and I broke in and I was looking on the field. I'm just kidding. Look, so here's the thing, right? So anybody who's ever played on AstroTurf or anything like that, right? You guys know those black little specks, right? All over the field. Here's the problem. When is the NFL evaluating this field? Because at night, when there's no sun, what happens? Those things harden up and they get more solid. We're talking about the 49ers are going to play a 1 o'clock game on Sunday, and it's going to be 80 degrees. Anybody who's ever played on field means it's 80 in the air, it's 100 on the field. That's what they're talking about when the floor gets sticky. That's why it's sticky, because it's expanding because of the heat. So that's part of what I've been hearing about it. It's, again, when are you evaluating it? Are you evaluating it at night when everything is together, or are you evaluating it when it's at the highest sun and the floor gets to, like, I played high school, and my high school, we used to run camp. If it was 100, it was 130 on the field. It's the turf absorbs all that. So yeah. How does Austin Rivers know about turf? I thought he played basketball. Yo, this joke's not going away, is it, bro? It's just not going away.
Dre, you were gonna say something?
I mean, if there is anybody, whether you're a Giants or a Niners fan, that says that there is no problem with MetLife Field, you should just go ahead and jump off a bridge. Or just wrap the seatbelt around your neck while you're driving and just press on the gas pedal and run into a damn light pole. There's something that is wrong with that field. If I was Kyle Shanahan, I wouldn't even play this game. I would forfeit it. I would not put my guys on that field because there was 6 knee injuries in that one game.
And it wasn't the Niners.
There was a total of 10 injuries between the Jets and the 49ers on that game. And you can't tell me that field didn't have anything to do with these injuries. Right. Guys' feet were basically sticking into the turf. And it was basically guys were getting caught underneath themselves and their damn foot locked into the turf and their legs getting caught underneath them. So if you say that there's nothing wrong with this field, it's something wrong with you.
The other thing is too is, it all depends on, cleat length, all those things as well too. Like I hope they went back and they evaluated all that. It's a scary situation, man. The other thing is that it's brand new turf. Now, 49ers fans, we know this all well, right? Like how long were we yelling about the grass at Levi's, right? Like as soon as you drop that whatever the turf is, whatever sort of grass, there's going to be issues in the beginning. So it just so happens that the 49ers came in and this happened. So I understand both arguments. There was only one ACL that was lost, only one. And you know what? I love that argument. There was only one ACL that was lost in the money. One is too many. Yeah. One is too many. Like it should be 0. But yeah, it's a little bit nervous, and I think Kyle Shanahan understands that. I think that had plenty to do with the fact that Jimmy's not playing this week. Neither is Kittle. I said, don't even get them near the stadium. Don't put them in the parking lot. Leave them in West Virginia. Don't even bring them here at MetLife, man. Don't bring them to MetLife at all. Yeah. But yeah, the turf it's like this ongoing issue. But from what I was researching, it was a little bit of that, the cleat length. So who knows, man? We're just in for a bumpy ride, man. No matter what happens this week, man.
Yeah, cross your fingers. Hopefully, there's no injuries this weekend, but I don't know with that turf. I don't like that turf at all, man. Vincent, the Giants signed Devontae Freeman this week. How do you feel about that? Is he going to play?
So I think what's going to happen on Sunday is Wayne Gallman will probably be he'll take most of the carries. I think he'll take most of the carries. Deion Lewis is kind of more of a pass catching, pass blocking kind of running back.
Wayne Gallman, who in the is that?
Yeah, no, I know who that is. He's the backup. So he's been there for a few years. Trust me. Look, being on the New Jersey side, I know just as much about the Giants probably as this team. It's like, so I do know Gallman. Fantasy football players, that's low key a sleeper play. If you're caught and you're stuck, like everybody's hurt this week. Like I'm filling out rosters that I'm like, who is this guy? But go ahead. I'm sorry, Vince. Go ahead, man.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, Gallman. I mean, he really in his rookie season in 2017, he was a 4th-round pick from Clemson. In his rookie season, he had 5 games where he had double-digit carries, averaged around 4.5 yards per carry. So he was fairly productive when he got a chance. But obviously, once Barkley was drafted, that really hurt Gallman's status with the Giants. But I think he's a decent back. I think he's a guy, as a replacement back. He caught 34 passes rookie season too, so he offers a dual threat at the running back position. But with Devontae Freeman, a couple snaps here and there. It's his first week, so I don't expect too much out of him.
Okay. Jay, got anything to add?
No, that's it. I really didn't expect him to play this week. I know 49er fans were yelling about, trying to get him in for a workout, but I was like, he's literally working out with the Giants right now. Like, that's it. Yeah. So I get why it's happening, but I don't expect him to have an impact. And he's absolutely right. It's going to be Gallman on early downs, and Deion Lewis is going to be their 3rd down guy. Like he's been every other place that he's ever been. He was just in Tennessee doing it. He was doing it for New England as well too. So yeah, really doesn't change anything. It's just, I understand I want my team to win, but I wish you guys, I would love to see Saquon play. Like, that's the worst part, with all these injuries. It's like, yeah, we want our team to win, but it's like the product is suffering on all across the league because of it, and that's the problem, really. It's like, it's like who's going to be left to play in the Super Bowl? Like, it's going to be Towel Boys at quarterback, and, I just don't know what's going to happen going forward.
All right. Another question. Vincent, do you think Daniel Jones is your franchise QB?
I heard unbiased. Let's hear it.
Yes. So, look, I have no issue with him being their franchise quarterback. I think they need to put a couple more weapons around him. It's tough because it's not really the general manager's fault, Dave Gettleman, because by the end of his 2nd season here, between Ingram, Shepard, Slayton, Barkley, those guys will miss at least 37 games since he's taken over as a starting quarterback. So a bunch of injuries to his playmakers. Last week was the first week that all of those guys played together. Ingram, Barkley, Shepard, Tate, and Slayton. All 5 of those guys. That was the first week they played together, and now Barkley is out for the season and Shepard's out for at least 3 weeks. So it's kind of tough because he's been put in a really bad position in terms of the overall playmakers that he has around him. But last year he was productive. The box score stats were pretty good, traditional box score stats. What I liked about him was he made plays downfield. He was tied for 2nd among quarterbacks in touchdown passes that traveled at least 20 yards through the air. At one point, he led the NFL in on-target percentage on throws, 20-plus yards through the air. I like that in a quarterback. I like quarterbacks who throw the football downfield and take risks, and I think that's kind of what Eli brought to the Giants for many years. He took a lot of risks. He threw a lot of interceptions, which I don't really hate on interceptions too much as long as you're taking risks downfield. So I would have no problem with him being the franchise quarterback, but will that happen? It really depends on – I actually did a video that I posted today. I did last night on YouTube. It really depends on Dave Gettleman's job status, because if Dave Gettleman stays, then Daniel Jones is the quarterback next year without question. But if Dave Gettleman gets fired, I think there's a chance Daniel Jones is not the starting quarterback next year.
Man, how long has Gettleman been the coach?
A GM?
A GM.
This is 3rd year.
Yeah, 3rd year. See, not long.
I put it like this. Last year, we missed both of our starting left and right tackle for 6 games. Our starting fullback, Kyle Juszczyk, we missed him for 4 games. George Kittle, he was gone for 3 games. Our starting tackle, we missed him for the last 3 games of the season, plus all of the playoffs and the Super Bowl. I just said our starting center. Richard Sherman, we missed him for 2 games. Deebo Samuel, we missed him for 3 games. I mean, it's kind of next man up, and it's hard to say that, but it's the truth. It's next man up. Also, DJ Jones, we missed him for 5 games throughout the season. Ronald Blair, we missed him for the last 7 games of the season, plus the playoffs and the Super Bowl. So, I mean, it's. I mean, you kind of have to play through those things, but I'm not going to give the Giants any type of leeway just because they're playing through injuries, because the Niners have been doing this for the last 2 years, including this year.
Jason?
Yo, so Daniel Jones, right? Yeah, like it's weird, man. Like I think that you know how I always say, like, players are always evaluated based on where they were drafted, but they didn't draft themselves there, right? Like like someone gets drafted too high, they didn't draft themselves, the organization did. So sometimes when they draft, when you draft Daniel Jones as high as you did, and, obviously we all thought that they could have waited. They could have had somebody like Josh Allen, which is a game changer on defense. And, you saw how quickly you get a pass rusher in there, how quickly your defense can turn. But I don't know, man, like it's tough. This is the argument too, right? This is what I say about, Josh Rosen, all these guys, even Sam Darnold. One coach 1 year, another system the next year, another system the next year, another system the next year. Like that continuity, like think about Alex Smith. How early could we have called Alex Smith the bust until he finally got, to a system that played to his strengths, and then he became a solid quarterback? Remember, he was in the league for years. Mm-hmm. And every year he had a new offensive coordinator. So it's hard to evaluate guys when there's no continuity and there's no sort of structure around him and what they want to build. I see flashes. What I think that Daniel Jones does really well is off script plays. Like when he's on the move, like he's not mobile, but he can move. Like he's not looking to run, but he can definitely move. So I think that Daniel Jones, it's hard to tell. That's what I'll say. I can't make a decision one way or the other. I'm terrible at evaluating quarterbacks, man. Like I swear, like guys that I think aren't that good in college kill it in the league. The guys that kill it in college, I think are going to be good. They don't do well in the league. So quarterback for me is always the hardest thing to evaluate, right? And and I think that is true what you're saying about Daniel Jones and his weapons, man. Because there was plenty of Duke games that I watched where he's throwing dimes to people and they're just putting them on the ground. So yeah, it's all about that. It's all about what they're gonna do around him. And it sucks that he's gonna lose Barkley again. Like this is just like you really would like to have him build this rapport with everybody, but it seems like they all can't just be on the field together one way or another.
Good, Dre, got a question. Who's gonna have a better passer rating between Daniel Jones and Nick Mullins?
Woo! Let's get spicy, Dre. Talk to him.
Y'all already know how I feel about Nick.
That's what I'm asking.
Die-hard Niner fan, bro. Don't get it fucked up. I'm a die-hard Niner fan. Like when things don't go right. I mean, you guys seen last Sunday when we had all of these injuries and we came on how my energy was, right? I acted like one of my family members had just died, right?
Yeah, everybody knew it too in the comments. They were like, y'all need hugs.
Yeah. Real talk. I think Nick Mullins is trash. Let's just be 100. All right. He was on the field for 5 plays, and what happened? He threw an interception right away. We know that this guy wasn't Jimmy Garoppolo. And for all of the people out there who said, we want Nick Mullins to start. Well, you see what the hell happens when Nick Mullins starts, right? I think that Daniel Jones has the edge. I'm sorry. Nick Mullins is
dude, that's cool.
Okay.
That's good. Jason, what about you? Who has a higher passer rating Sunday?
Higher passer rating this week. You know what? I'll go contrarian to that. I actually will say that it's Nick. Here's why. We just talked about the offensive line having issues. Like, Kyle Shanahan can't dial up these shots. Everything is going to have to come off of play action. So if the 49ers can't run the ball, then everything's got to be quick throws. So I don't really see him putting Nick Mullins in a position where he has to make too many tough throws, unless the situation needs. Like, he's going to try to give him layups. Like, he's going to try to get him those easy throws and scheme guys open. That's how I feel. Like, you have to really – you don't even have to strip down the offense. You just got to take away those long progression reads because you can tell that your line is right now struggling. So I suspect that they'll run, a lot of slants. It's just going to be a lot of – if they can't run the ball, then it gets thrown on Nick. That's when things will get a little hairy. But if they can run the ball and they can put Nick in a play action mode, they'll do enough to get past in this game and get the win. So I'll say Nick. Also, fun fact, Andrew brought this up on the show that I'm on, the 49ers Noir show. You know how if Nick Mullins throws for 400 yards one more time, he ties Brett Favre for 400 yard games in his career. One more time.
Stop.
One more time.
Stop.
Are we talking about back in Mississippi or?
Nope. In the NFL. Brett Favre is thrown for 400 yards 2 times, and on the night of his father's passing, the Oakland game that you guys remember, he threw for 399 that game.
Yeah.
Crazy stat. No, you can't even believe it. The game's played differently or whatever, but there's something off about that. That doesn't feel right.
That is crazy.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It does.
Vincent, what do you think? How can Daniel Jones be successful in this upcoming game? What does he have to do? What does the team have to do to beat the 49ers?
Well, I think it was tough because they brought in a new offensive coordinator. Jason Garrett's obviously their offensive coordinator, and there was no preseason games. So he was put in a tough situation from day one, and I think they've kept the offense very simple. If you look at week 1, they were like 30th in overall motion at the snap. And then in week 2, that jumped up. They went from like 1.6% of their snaps with motion to like 5%. So I think like gradually they're going to make the offense a little bit more sophisticated, complicated. I think it was very simplistic early on just because it was the first game they really ever played. No preseason action. So what I would expect from Daniel Jones, I think they're still going to try and establish the run. That's really what that's really what kind of like Dave Gettleman's New York Giants is really all about at the core. That's why Saquon Barkley was the 2nd overall pick. So I think they will still try to establish the run, get Deion Lewis in there. If Devonta Freeman needs a touch here or there, they're going to do that as well. But yeah, I think you'll see it'll be a more complicated offense. It won't be as simplistic as it was. And even with Evan Ingram, he actually caught 5 of his 6 passes either in the slot or on the outside. So I think he will definitely be involved more. A lot of shorter passes, probably less than 10 yards for the most part. But his yards after catch above expectation, I think, is like 4th in the league among all pass catchers. So he has the ability to catch a pass and get some solid yards after the catch. So I think that's what you'll see. I think you'll see a more complicated offense this week and more Evan Ingram as a wide receiver than a traditional tight end.
Nice. Okay. Jason, got anything to add?
I mean, this is as close to, for anybody in here who's a New Jersey, New York 49ers fan, this is as close as it gets to a must win. The Giants fans are pouncing. They're ready. So the Giants fans are in a great spot, right? Lose the game and everybody will just say, oh, that's what's supposed to happen. Win the game and it's like, oh my God, they're going to be talking crazy about us. So like, it's like we're caught in the crossfire right now. This is a big game for us. I mean, the 49ers have to win, but you New Jersey, New York 49ers fans, you know how it is, man. They're going to get after us if this doesn't go the way that we do. I think we're going to win this game though, but it's going to be much closer than the Jets game. Again, as long as your coach is not Adam Gase, you should be all right. I think you're going to be all right. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the Giants' defensive line is going to put a lot of pressure.
They have a good line, like Dexter Lawrence, all those guys. Like he said, Golden, or Marcus Golden was somebody that I wanted the 49ers to go get and add to the depth, honestly, when it came to pass rush. And now that would have been, paramount. But he makes about how much, Vincent? He makes about $4 million. They signed him $4 million a year, something like that.
Yeah, right around $4 or $5 million.
Yep. So yeah, I mean he's solid, man. He would have been perfect, like to add in, with everybody or whatever. So yeah, the book is out, right? Like I said, don't go towards Trent. Don't put anybody towards Trent, because you're gonna get stonewalled. Throw them all at McGlinchey at this point, and try to overlap the interior alignment and put your guys in there. Like it seems like it's working for everybody else. It worked for Arizona, and it damn sure worked for the Jets last week. Like the first play, remember I showed you? Remember when we did the film breakdown? The first play of Nick's drive, Kyle dialed up a shot. Brandon Ayuk is running down the field by himself, like there's no one around him, but he can't get the ball out because Quinnen Williams threw Laken Tomlinson aside. If Laken Tomlinson's getting beat by Quinnen Williams like that, there's a guy that plays for the what's his name for the Rams? Aaron Donald. There you go, that guy. Yeah, I shudder to think what's going to happen when he comes around. So, this offensive line has got to get their reps and get, solid. Right now, this is still going to be a test for them.
Right, what might help the 49ers offensive line? The Giants last week on third downs, they had a 3-man rush 5 times, and Mitch Trubisky tore them apart. 4 for 5, converting 75 yards and touchdowns. So that's something to watch this week if they continue with that 3-man rush on third down. I did not understand that. That might help the offensive line out.
And I was going to ask you, Vincent, because I just finished watching that game, right? You guys ran a ton of man. Like, James Bradbury had a really good game on Allen Robinson. He was named a PFF Defensive Player of the Week this week. I don't think he allowed a catch to Allen Robinson. Like, didn't allow one. And I just noticed that you were playing a lot of man, right? Like you weren't threatened, right? It didn't seem like you were worried about Anthony Miller or Jimmy Graham or any of those guys like beating you up top. Like you kind of just dared them the whole game to throw it. In the beginning, Trubisky got hot, but my goodness, man. I mean, I know this has nothing to do with Niners and Giants, but he misses so many reads and throws. It's like it's insane, man. Like I literally don't know what he's seeing at times. There was a play where I think there was a miscommunication, right? Your cornerback is almost at the second level, but he's like letting Allen Robinson just run and then run away from him, and he just turns away and just is like, oh, it doesn't matter. Trubisky didn't see him though. He just threw it the whole opposite direction. And it's almost like, what are you like not seeing here? Like, so like I noticed that you guys ran a lot of man, a ton of man. And it seemed like you weren't worried about what they were going to do to you up top.
No, I would agree. I think still Mitch Trubisky's a pretty limited quarterback. I think we could all agree with that. So I think that was that was kind of the same way the Giants thought on Sunday. Right.
Bronze, you want to do game predictions? We just go around?
Yeah. What do you want to do? Like scores or just like straight up?
I just will do scores. I mean, it's Friday, right? We have the most information. There's not going to be any more practices. There'll be a walkthrough tomorrow, and that's it. Guys will be ready to go. So I think we know what we know.
Okay, I'm gonna say 24-13 Niners.
Okay,
Dre.
845-0 Niners.
Dre's gonna pick the Giants.
I'm gonna say 2017 Niners.
27-10?
2017
Niners.
2017. Wow, yeah. Damn, this makes me nervous just thinking about that score.
It's gonna be a close game. Watch.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a close game.
Bronze, you have to keep it like this, bro. We are missing 13 starters.
Nope.
Like 13, bro. Like literally. Let's say 13 starters and like 2 important role players, right? And we haven't even figured out whether Ahkello Witherspoon is going to play because he's a game time decision, right? So you can count him as a very important role player. So let's say 11 starters and 3 very important role players, they're gone. I mean, yeah. I don't want any of the faithful to take this the wrong way, but it's just like we are missing a lot of pieces. It's not like, we play against the Saints and we have D Ford for the first couple of plays and he goes out, and then DJ Jones goes out in the the second quarter actually, and then Ronald Blair is missing and Jaquaski Tart was missing from the beginning of the game. He didn't even play. It's like we are missing these guys going into the game. I have to be somewhat realistic, and I will not disrespect the Giants even without Saquon on their field. They know how to play on this shitty field. I have to say it, right? It's a horrible field. Vincent, you know I'm being real, bro.
Yes.
I'm being real. This field is not supposed to be played on. They need to go ahead and get grass field on inside of MetLife Field. So
hey, if the 49ers want to forfeit and give the Giants a W, I think the Giants will take that all day.
They will win.
Right. Jason, what about you? What's the score?
I got a 27-20 Niners. It's going to come down to the final possession one way or the other. If it's whether Nick has to score at the end or we have to stop at them at the end, it's going to come down to the last possession. It's going to be a close game. So, yeah, batten down the hatches, New York, New Jersey Niners fans. Let's we have to sweat through this one, man.
Oh, man. Vincent, what's your prediction?
All right, Nick Mullins, he's played against the Giants before his last start. It was a Monday night game. He threw 2 interceptions, 73 passer rating. And that was against a bad Giants team. The Giants defense is better this year. Look, the Giants have to win this game. If this was the healthy 49ers, the Giants would get killed. I would say, all right, probably like 30-14 49ers. Blowout. It would be. It would, yes, even with Saquon.
Right.
But I think the Giants, they have to win this game. They have to. They've started off 0-2 4 years in a row. They need to win this game. I think the Giants are going to win this game 23-20.
Okay.
23.
So last possession.
Man.
Yes, it'll be a close
There
one.
you go.
I had us winning by 3 or 4 points, so I can respect that, bro.
Yeah.
Man, so that's what's up. Vincent, man, thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you, Vincent, bro.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right,
Yeah.
man. We'll talk to you soon, all right?
All right. Sounds
All
good.
right, take care.
That was cool,
All right.
man. How civil was that?
Yeah,
Man.
that was good, man. A great conversation.
Yeah.
Bro,
I feel
I've been hitting up a lot of.
of.
I've been hitting a lot of some of the teams, upcoming teams, but I don't want to.
Seattle, we can't do that. I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to do. I didn't hit up no
And I'm not
Seattle
talking
heads.
to no Cowboys fans. No way. Not happening.
Well, there's one guy I like. Voch Lombardi.
He's
right,
good.
Dre? Yeah, he's a pretty good. I watch his when the draft evaluation. I like it, but he's a big time, Dallas fan. He's from Houston also, but yeah, I mean he has a big following. He's pretty insightful. But
Dre,
yeah,
I wanna tell
anybody but Seattle. I didn't hit up no Seattle. So
Dre, I want to tell you something. So, last episode was all about next man up. We were next man up, but just like you feel about Nick, we could hold it down for one episode. But we know what makes this show go, all right? Like, you know what I'm talking about?
okay.
All day.
I feel like my counterparts are just as important as I am, right? And if you come to this show only to watch me, then you're not a true Niners all day fan.
No, not that. No. I just think that everybody loves our dynamic, right? All of us. That's what I think it is.
Right.
I think it's more that for sure. But yeah, like I said, we held it down. Next man up. We got the W, like the Niners are about to do against the Giants, and then we get everybody back for Sunday Night Football, right?
Right.
Kittle,
Right.
Debo, Mostert, Jimmy, and that one smells. That one smells like how we did the Packers at one time on Sunday Night Football. Like that's
Right.
how that one smells if we get everybody back. Right. So let's just battle through this game, guys. I hate to keep saying it, but it's definitely week to week. That's it, man. It's week to week. Win this game, and then we'll worry about the Eagles and whoever makes it through their game next week. Like that's it, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. I want to still talk about Nick Mullen. I just I know Dre doesn't like Nick Mullen, and I don't know if you're comparing,
bro. I don't. Right? He's
that bad, really? Is that trash? He's not as bad as CJ Beathard, dude.
He's you guys CJ.
See what I seen with Nick Mullins? Did you open your eyes?
Okay, that interception though wasn't that part of McGlinchey's fault?
No, it wasn't. Nick was trash.
Yeah,
and it was against the Jets.
It'd be all right, man.
Don't have Jamal Adams no more, and who half of their players got injured just like us. I don't want to hear about Nick Mullins.
He'll be fine, man. I think he'll be fine, man. I think he's you know what? Whatever, look, put it like this. Whatever his prop is this week, like whatever his passing yards is or whatever, I think I'm gonna take the over on it. Like just because you gotta understand that the Giants are gonna try to take away the run first. Like everything's off of that. So I mean, I don't think anybody really confuses Nick Mullins with like a franchise quarterback at this point, but he's super serviceable, man. Like, and especially in this offense, because Kyle likes what he does. He gets the ball out fast. He's gonna take all those reads away from him, and he's gonna tailor the game to him. And I think that Kyle's gonna relish the idea of being able to win this game with so many lost people and and a backup quarterback. All right, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yo. You see the look on my face?
Like, I know. I mean, it looks like
I'm literally trying to buy into it, but I can't, bro.
That's cool, though, man.
If Nick Mullins throws 4 tutties, you gotta buy a jersey.
If Nick Mullins throws 4 tutties, I'll do 50 push-ups on Niners all day on the post-game show on Sunday.
Yo, I'm smashing that home right now.
Bang.
Let's go.
All right,
okay. With that being said, man, go ahead, Bronze, and take us out, bro. We'll probably see y'all tomorrow for another post-game show. With just us.
All right, man.
This is Kendrick Bourne from the San Francisco 49ers. You're watching the Niners All Day Show. What up, Bronze? What up, Dre? Let's get it, man. Yee!